employee or a former Nike employee who is making the rounds with a video that is now circulating the internet, talking about the situation involving Nike, Caitlin Clark, the slow play that they're doing, even doing so much to show how their stock is falling off the shelf. And let's talk about this video. You may have seen it by now. I'm going to show it to you again, but it's a former 15-year employee at Nike in the women's division, and
Adidas just pulled off something so wild, LeBron probably had to double-check his own contract. Caitlin Clark completely flipped the script, right? She shook up the whole sneaker industry, and now Nike might actually be sweating through their iconic swoosh. Caitlin didn't just respond, she dropped a bombshell. Now sneakerheads are questioning everything, fans are losing their minds, and Twitter? It's absolutely on fire. What did she even say? Why is Nike suddenly in full panic mode? And did Adidas just make the steal of the century? This whole thing is about to get crazy, so buckle up.
A big game for Caitlin, her returning to her alumni in Iowa and her hitting that massive logo 3, the logo 3 during the game that some of her sponsors would want to show her support on social media, do any sort of marketing to uplift her and uplift their brand. And one who did do that was Gatorade. They tweeted a photo of her and they said, "Real home court advantage. Welcome back to Iowa, Caitlin Clark." Now, one of her lead sponsors that was noticeably quiet yesterday was Nike. And a lot of people were tweeting about this. They were wondering, why isn't Nike and Nike basketball, why are none of their accounts saying anything about this? Yes, it's a preseason game, but this is a huge day for Caitlin. She's returning to...
Look, Caitlin Clark was always more than just a player out there on the court. And apparently, without even really trying, she reportedly dropped a whole stack of receipts on Nike. We're talking lawsuit-level stuff here. Suddenly, that iconic swoosh, it's looking less like a symbol of greatness and more like a sinking checkmark of broken promises. Yeah, you heard that right. It seems Nike actually violated the terms of their agreement. It's like a bad dating app situation with commitment issues. The company that basically invented sports endorsements is now just ignoring its biggest rising star.
Nike, we need to talk about Caitlin Clark. Let's you and me talk about Caitlin Clark since you refuse to talk about Caitlin Clark. I care deeply about you. I spent over a decade in your marketing organization. I spent several years trying to get into your organization, and it's been 3 years since I left your company. I'm just here as a friend. I care about you. I want to show you two different charts here. One, your stock price since 2021. It is down nearly 60%. Your executives and the people who are making these decisions, their stock options are worthless. Meanwhile, you have the single biggest needle mover in all of American sports since Michael Jordan, and you have somehow convinced yourself that you need to slow play this. Let me show you Google Trends search traffic for 4 female basketball players. There is one who only rivals Caitlin Clark, and that is Angel Reese, and you do not have her.
The thing is, let's talk about the cold, hard facts here. Nike decided to treat Caitlin Clark, you know, the biggest name in women's basketball right now, like she was just some afterthought stuck in a bargain bin. You just don't hand a generational talent a mediocre contract while, at the same time, making every other player in the league look like the next Michael Jordan. Especially when Adidas is over here, practically doing power squats with $100 bills, ready to lift up the entire women's sports sector. You just don't do that.
How in the world is Nike not going full on Caitlin Clark phenomenon? You've got the most popular women's athlete in the world. Do they still not have a Caitlin Clark shoe out? My mind is blown by this. The minute that she started playing in the WNBA, you should have rolled out for every little girl in America the Caitlin Clark ones. And that should have been the baddest ass women's tennis shoe that has.
Meanwhile, Adidas is acting like a cat, totally focused on laser pointers. They weren't just watching from the sidelines. The moment Caitlin's team looked even a little bit annoyed with Nike, Adidas swooped in. They were like, "Hey, we've got your own line, signature colorways, and an unlimited supply of actual respect." They didn't just send flowers, they sent an entire bouquet of custom-branded sneakers. Plus, they brought in a whole team of marketing experts, ready to make her more famous than Taylor Swift showing up at a gym packed with Swifties.
A lot of conversation has been made around Caitlin Clark, her signature shoe, the Nike deal, And with how much Nike has been dragging their behind, which how much Nike has been moseying to the finish line when it comes to pushing the Caitlin Clark button, fans started speculating maybe this deal isn't as official as we thought it was. We get no signature shoe, no news of a shoe all season long. We get no merchandise all season long. We get no commercial.
Caitlin, honestly, just ditch Nike. Seriously, drop them like a bad haircut before prom. You're not just some participant, you are the moment. If Nike can't see that, then hand them a resignation letter and a mirror with one perfectly arched jump shot. And get this, if she joined Adidas, her shoe line wouldn't just sell, it would absolutely shatter sales charts. Even saying her kicks would outsell Wilson's 10-1 feels conservative. Kids would be scalping them on StockX faster than you can say, step back 3. People would treat those Clark ones like sacred relics. Grandparents would be camping out at Foot Locker again, just like it was 1996 for Air Jordans. Nike has totally forgotten who they're working with here. Caitlin isn't just a flash in the pan. She's not the flavor of the month, she is the future of this league. But instead of helping her build an empire, they sent her a shoe deal with the enthusiasm of an RSVP to a wedding. Fans went absolutely ballistic when they found out. Hashtags exploded, threads were written, and even sources from AM Sports Center on the NBA players' side suddenly became very chatty. And for a second, let's just talk about that Angel remarketing picture. Why was it only one picture? And why did she look like she was leaving a photo shoot for a 2010 reality TV reunion special? What kind of weird editorial decision was that?
Caitlin Clark's Nike deal might be the worst endorsement deal in the history of professional sports. You guys remember this billboard that was put up in Iowa? Well, that's one of the last times that Nike has done anything for Caitlin Clark. They promoted her more in college than they have at all the entirety of the WNBA season. She signed an 8-year, $28 million deal with Nike that also included her own signature shoe, which honestly, looking at it now, $28 million for 8 years is an absolute steal for this superstar, when a player like Wemby's Nike deal was rumored to be over $100 million. Caitlin has not only had an incredible rookie season, but she has also transformed the WNBA.
Look, nobody is saying Angel doesn't deserve attention. But here's the thing, how did that become the main representation for your entire rookie class? And Sophie, let's be real, she actually plays for the same team as Caitlin. And unlike half the people in Nike ads, she's a baller with serious numbers. She's just strangely gone missing from their marketing. Where is Sophie right now? Where's the fierce 3-player spread with Caitlin, Aaliyah Boston, and Sophie Cunningham, all with great lighting and attitude? Instead, we get one poorly cropped shot of Angel Reese looking like she's about to read someone for filth during the Basketball Queens WNBA Edition reunion episode. You completely forget Sophie even exists when she's out there draining jumpers, diving for rebounds, and playing for a team that's basically ground zero for this new wave of women's basketball. This isn't just a poor PR strategy. It's a full-on PR faceplant. It's like picking Jason Derulo for a halftime show when you could have Beyoncé, Rihanna, or Adele. Make it make sense. Adidas, though? They would have made Sophie the new face of their training line, put her on a billboard, and had her tossing shoes into the crowd like candy at a parade after every game. The difference is just embarrassing. This is about to get intense. So, let's get back to this shoe fight. Listen to this. Adidas drops the Clark 1 Fire Edition, and they sell out in 4.3 minutes. Kids are crying in the parking lot, and grown men are arguing over toddler sizes.
It feels as though that this Nike deal.
Now, Nike is still out here acting like Caitlin's limited release is some exclusive thing, even though it's actually just super disappointing. They probably thought putting her in a collective transaction would look collaborative. Spoiler alert, it just looks lazy. It's like they decided to throw all the girlies into one bucket and call it a campaign. Clark's fans didn't just notice, they're absolutely furious. If Nike had a suggestion box right now, it would be engulfed in flames. Honestly, at this point, Caitlin might need to realize her brand shouldn't be buried in some boardroom PowerPoint. She's not a bullet point, she is the entire presentation. She makes 40-foot shots look like easy layups. She sells out arenas, and she's inspiring broadcasts all across the country. She built her reputation, her brand, her influence, all without Nike's help. So really, why wouldn't she pick Adidas despite all this? They're fearless, they're hungry, and they're willing to bet the entire house on a woman who has fundamentally changed the rules of the game. If she asked, they'd probably give her an entire division and let her brand it Clark Performance. Let's be real, her fan base would follow her like Moses parting the shoe aisles. Meanwhile, Nike is still playing catch-up, acting like they're late for an exercise class. Caitlyn is nonchalantly redefining what it means to be a rookie celebrity, all while Nike pretends this whole shoe problem doesn't even exist. And, of course, that just makes it even more of an issue.